For many years, the Pasig River in the Philippines stood as a painful reminder of how much its capital had deteriorated. Its foul smell and floating garbage became symbols of a city drowning in its own neglect. But slowly and surely, this image has changed. Today, the Pasig River looks like this. With its beautiful esplanade, it almost resembles a touristy riverside in Europe. This transformation has surely caught the world's attention, and the river has received an award from a prestigious international body. How did a river once called the most polluted in the world take a 360-degree turn and become a symbol of recovery? To better answer this question, let us join together in exploring its grueling journey, from being a national embarrassment to becoming a powerful symbol of pride for the entire country. Pasig River is the major body of water in Metro Manila that connects Laguna de Bay and world-famous Manila Bay. It stretches for about 27 kilometers, with an average width of 91 meters. Long before the city of Manila even existed, about 6,000 years ago, the Pasig River was already carving its path between Laguna de Bay and Manila Bay. During the Spanish period, it became the city's main transport route. We may call it Manila's very first highway. Galleons and barges once sailed through its waters, loaded with rice, sugar, coconuts, and timber. These goods powered the capital's early prosperity. Locals used to bathe in this river. Due to convenience, they built their homes along its banks. The soil around the river was fertile, providing materials for construction and food for communities. Life revolved around the river. To say that it was the city's lifeline wouldn't be an overstatement. Because of its importance to the colony's survival, it earned a title that reflected its grandeur: the Queen of Rivers. When the Americans came, they also acknowledged that the Pasig River was vital to promoting progress for the country. It powered Manila's rise as one of Asia's most developed cities. However, as the industrialization that was brought by the colonizers took root, the focus turned to building roads and railways for vehicles. Over time, the Pasig River's role as a main transport route and source of living for nearby communities began to fade away. As is often the case with nature being sacrificed in favor of progress, the same fate happened to the once beautiful Pasig River. The slow death of this river didn't happen overnight. It was a product of decades of neglect. As far back as the 1930s, people began to notice the first signs of decline. Fish that once swam freely from Laguna de Bay into the Pasig began to disappear, as if the river was slowly losing its breath. By the 1950s, families no longer bathed in its waters. A decade later, the sound of women washing clothes along its banks had faded. Even the ferry boats that once glided through the river's calm surface began to vanish. Then came the surge of urbanization. Metro Manila grew fast. Too fast for its own good. Migrants from the provinces arrived with dreams of a better life. Instead, they're faced with the reality that life in the city isn't as easy as they imagined it to be. Hence, with no other options, they've built makeshift homes along riverbanks and estuaries. Without proper sanitation, the waterways became their dumping ground. What was once the city's lifeline turned into its sewer. Factories soon crowded the banks, releasing untreated chemicals directly into the water. Even hospitals added to the toxic flow. By the 1970s, the river had turned foul. During the dry season, the stench carried through the city air. It was a clear reminder of how far it had fallen. By the early 1990s, the river was officially declared biologically dead. Its waters turned dark and lifeless, thick with pollution. Tests showed coliform levels far beyond safe limits, making it a carrier of disease rather than a source of life. Floating islands of garbage blanketed its surface. No fish survived its murky waters except the invasive janitor fish species. For many observers, the Pasig River seemed lost forever. Some international groups even branded it beyond saving. But the Philippine government knew it couldn't simply abandon it. The river had long been the lifeblood of Manila. The history of the magnificent city is heavily tied to it. As one urban planner has stated, "If you can't fix the Pasig River, you can't fix the metropolis." The battle to revive the Pasig River was a slow and grueling process. It took decades before real action began to take shape. It all started in the late 1980s under the presidency of Corazon Aquino. After the fall of the dictatorship, the country was eager to rebuild, and Manila was in search of redemption. With help from the Danish International Development Agency, the government launched the Pasig River Rehabilitation Program. This was the first official attempt to bring the dying river back to life. But in truth, it was more of a groundwork phase than a cleanup mission. By 1999, a new government body was established, and this one would have more success. The Pasig River Rehabilitation Commission, or PRRC. During this time, the real work began. The government moved families away from high-risk areas and reclaimed river easements for public use. During the late 2000s, the agency teamed up with a media giant arm, the ABS-CBN Foundation, and dubbed the campaign as Kapit Bisig sa Ilog Pasig. This collaboration with private organizations and media groups brought public attention and grassroots participation. Cleanup drives, riverbank clearing, and environmental awareness projects spread across Metro Manila. Though the river remained heavily polluted, a sense of civic responsibility began to take root. There was one public figure who became the face of cleaning up the river, the late Gina Lopez from a prominent media family. She took over as chair of the PRRC. Her focus shifted towards the smaller waterways, the esteros and creeks that feed into the Pasig River. She believed that real change had to begin there, where most of the waste came from. Out of 47 creeks directly connected to the river, 17 were successfully cleaned and restored. Families living along these waterways were relocated to safer areas, and the cleared spaces were turned into small community parks. What used to be foul-smelling, garbage-filled corners of the city slowly transformed into green, welcoming spots. For the river to truly become part of city life again, it needed to serve a real purpose for the people. That's why former President Duterte initiated the revival of the Pasig River ferry system. The system now operates with 13 stations, stretching across key parts of Metro Manila. More than just a convenient way to get around, the ferry system was created to help ease the heavy traffic that constantly clogs Metro Manila's main roads. Recently, the country had a grander vision for the famous river. More than just cleaning up, the goal now is to transform it into a world-class destination, similar to the scenic riverfronts of Singapore, Seoul, or even Paris. In January 2024, the government launched the Pasig Bigyang Buhay Muli initiative, meaning bring Pasig back to life. The plan is to make the riverfront center of urban life again, and not just a forgotten boundary it once became. At the center of this grand vision is the Pasig River Esplanade, now one of Manila's most promising public attractions. With its European-inspired design, classic lamps, balustrades, and wide promenades, it gives a glimpse of what a modern, livable capital could look like. The esplanade stretches along key parts of the river, creating a peaceful, open space for people to reconnect with nature in the middle of the city's rush. Small food and souvenir stalls line parts of the walkway, adding life and color to the area. Today, families and friends gather here, walking by the riverside and enjoying the renewed beauty of what was once a forgotten waterway. The story of the amazing transformation of the Pasig River is one for the books. Who would have thought that decades ago this was how this river looked like? But look at it right now. The river shines with a beauty that speaks for itself. The story of the Pasig River is no way past its finish point. However, we already have a glimpse of how more beautiful it will become in the coming years. But what are your thoughts about this? We think that you'll love this next video. As always, see you on the next one.